Hey guys, this is Smiley with Smiling Dragon Barbecue. Today we're going to do a little quick video on how I like to trim pork butts for competition. You've probably seen different people out there do it on YouTube or on Facebook. I've kind of got an idea from them and just from a couple classes, and this is just my version of it. It doesn't mean it's Bible, but this is the way I like to do it. So here we go. Start out letting you know what kind of knives I use. I like to use this. This is actually called a Meridian Elite. It's pretty nice, a flexible 8-inch slasher knife, and then I like to use a 6-inch Wusthof curved boning knife. And we like to use some surgical scissors to make sure we get our edges good and get some of that fat trimmed up. We'll start out by, I like to outline the money muscle and what I like to call, or what is known as the money muscle here on a pork butt. We're using a all-natural Prairie Fresh pork butt. First thing I look at whenever I try to pick one out is to make sure it's got a decent looking money muscle on it. Sure you can see that there. And then I also like to get a decent fat cap, which as you can tell on this one, we don't have a very good fat cap, but sometimes that's just kind of part of it. But we've got some decent marbling in this one. And as you can tell, it's pretty big. I'd say this is probably an 11-pound butt. I don't remember what the package actually said, but we'll start out by exposing the money muscle, and then I'll show you a couple different muscles in it as far as the tubes and your horn, and we'll dissect it out here in just a minute. So what I'll start here with the boning knife is just trying to outline the money muscle, and we take small cuts going backwards, and trying to keep the knife as flat as I can where I'm not gouging into that money muscle, because sometimes that money muscle goes back quite a bit. And we just kind of have to peel it back little by little, getting some of that silver skin off of there, and trying to see where the fat line is. So right here you can see this is where it ends. I'd say that's a pretty decent money muscle for a commodity butt you can get at your local grocery store. We got this one here at a local grocery store called Price Cutter in Springfield, but I'd say that's a pretty decent competition grade money muscle. And what we'll do is just kind of shave off some of this fat, and I like to get all the silver skin off of there for the fact that that's what we want all the rub to stick and adhere good to the meat. So we'll get rid of all this stuff. Here's where I use the bigger knife, just because I can take bigger cuts once I figure out where I am and I'm not gouging into anything. But this right here will get us going. Just peel it back. Here next we'll expose the tubes. And I like to trim mine down to pretty light, because I cook hot and fast on a drum smoker, a gateway drum smoker. So we like to cook it at 300 degrees, and we're going to be flipping and turning and making things sizzle. You can see that good money muscle here, and then you've got good marbling here on your, I guess this is what people call part of the your white meat, but it's got some good marbling in it, so that's going to be good flavor. We want good intermuscular fat like that so we can get good flavor out of it. And basically I'm just taking all the excess stuff that we don't really need off here. We'll keep that out. As you can see, we're starting to expose some of those tubes there. And don't worry, I'm not wasting any of this meat. I'm going to use it for, keep all the trimmings and grind it up. Maybe make some sausage out of it. You see here we're exposing some of those tubes. Let's see here. See how far we can go down without jacking this up for a video. All right. Again, I'm not a butcher, So don't tear me up too bad on the comments about my pulling the knife to myself and not having the best techniques here. All right, so our money muscle's exposed completely. I don't do anything to this side of it, but we've got good money muscle right there. We got tube there, and then we'll get rid of this stuff. We're not gonna use it anyway, it's not really helping. I'm trying to get it as close as 4.5 pounds as I can get it. I cook 4 butts on 1 drum, so I like to keep them small, keep them where I can separate them in just enough and not overfill the drum. Basically gonna try to square her up, and then we're gonna start deboning. So here's your bone, one side of it. Here's your other side. The end of the bone's always on the opposite end of your money muscle. And what I like to start doing is I'll go through here and finish that, or follow that bone out, and then just kind of peel it back. And we'll go under the bone. Just follow that bone line. Peel it back as far as we can without just taking small cuts where we try not to jack it up too bad there. And again, I know it's probably not safe, but I'm pulling the knife to myself. I'm just being as careful as possible. And I'll go all the way under that bone, all the way back around. And then slowly but surely, we'll get that bone out of there. Some people like to just chop it off here. I don't do that because it's hard to consistently, if you're getting your butts at, you know, at a local grocery store and you're not getting to pick for multiple cases to get your fat caps, you can't really always pick the best one. And here I try to save as much of the bacon meat as I can. And here I'm probably right to the end of that. All right, there's our bone. Get that out of the way. And now, see how the butt's all flat now? You don't have such a high piece. And then here, like I was saying, I try to keep this. I don't like to chop it off. Some people chop it off right here, and you could probably get away with doing that because, you know, your money muscle's over here. So you're away from that. This is where your bacon's gonna stop. And you can end that right there. But it's just kind of my habit of how I do mine, or going around the bone. So right now we've got, that's probably about still a 5-pound butt. This thing's huge. And we're gonna kind of square her up and shape her up now. And I like to keep as much of this stuff down here on the edges to protect the meat because we're over direct fire. So what I like to do is I'll shape this up. I'm not gonna use this stuff for turn in here. So I'm gonna shape this butt up and cut that off. And then I'm gonna round her up. Round that fat cap off and just shape the butt out to how, you know, I like the aesthetics of it now. And really what we're going for now, I'm not too worried about weighing it. I'll weigh it afterwards just to make sure, but I've done enough of these that I can kind of tell where we are on weight. And I feel like we're all right now. You know, I'll get rid of some of this stuff right here because we don't need any of that. We're not going to use it. There's no sense in cooking it. And to me, it's just more crap you gotta pick through when you're harvesting out the meat you're gonna use for your turn in. So again, that's pretty much it, what I do to my butts. And then you'll see me clean stuff like this up just because I like it to look a little better. And again, I'm sure I'll get made fun of for my cuts, but it's just part of it. Look at there. I don't know if that was done by the butcher or if I did that, but there's a good yellow gouge right there. I don't worry about it too much because a lot of times that's going to shrink up with the process of cooking the butt itself. And this right here is also going to go small, but we're going to plump it up with some injection. And I like to take as much of this stuff off the top as I can because I want those tubes to get flavor. And yeah, I'm going to inject them, but at the same time, I want some rub to get to them because otherwise they don't really have much flavor. But I like to get in there and pump them up with some injection and then get good seasoning on them. As you can tell, this is pretty white meat as far as what the tubes are. And to me, whenever I cook the butt, I cook it to the temperature of the money muscle, because by the time my money muscle's done, the rest of this isn't probably going to be done, but this bacon is going to be done at that point. Another thing I like to do whenever you have some pieces of some big pieces that you can use left over from the scraps, and I guess I could do it with something like that. You see this piece right here that's exposed of the bacon? Use a piece like this and kind of shape it to what you need for that spot, and we can cover it up. You can cover it up and use those kind of things to your advantage, because that is the most tender, besides the money muscle part of the butt itself. Now that didn't really work out like I wanted, but what we can do here is put that on. Once I vacuum seal this, it kind of makes it stick together. So by the time we get it back out at inspection, it's going to be pretty sealed tight to it. And then just be careful when you're putting your rub on that you know that that's there. And when you're flipping your butt, because like I said, the way we cook hot and fast, we're over direct fire, and we're going to flip that butt. So by the time we end up flipping, that's going to fall off or hang on to the grate, and you're fine by then because your bacon's going to have enough color on it anyway. You're going to be fine. And then here we'll just use our scissors and just nick some of this stuff out of here that we're not going to use. To me, it's just easier to do, than trying to do it with a knife. If you're better than me with a knife, which a lot of people are, you can take care of a lot of this stuff with just a good sharp knife. But I just like to shape stuff out. Looks good, so why not? We got the time here. Let's see. And it's kind of like how I do my briskets too. We round everything off because these edges, we don't want them to crumble. You don't want this stuff to get all hard on the edges. And some of this right here, like if we cook this just long enough and tender enough, you can use this for chunks. It'd be good to put some chunks in your box. And then here, you can pull those and put them in with your bacon meat. I'll fix that here. All right. I believe that's it, folks. Be sure to give us a like, subscribe. We'll try to do a couple more of these videos, try to do some more backyard stuff. But here is our buck.